Hello and welcome back to Blackfeather Guild. Today we're doing episode 4 of, and I'm going to see if I can say this without butchering it, no pun intended, La Famille Boucherie, which is our Vampire the Masquerade game. This game is pretty gritty, and Zan's going to talk a little bit more about sort of our disclaimer before we do get started, but just as a heads up, we've got some information about the show in chat, so if you are particularly squeamish with some dark vampire-related things, just that's a heads up. Before we do jump into meeting the cast and getting into the actual story, I wanted to take a quick second to talk about viewer actions, how you can actually get involved with the story from the audience. There's some really cool ways that you can do that. One of the easiest is through the game tweet, which is also right there in chat. Every 10 interactions on that, we'll get the cast, for this game, an extra die to roll. So for most of our games, it's an extra d4, but with the way the system works, it's you roll a number of d10s, and the number of successes you get out of that pool determines your level of success. So it's an extra die to roll for every 10 interactions on that tweet. You can also use guild coins. If you look at your Twitch chat box, there's a little a rainbow colored icon. It's got the black feather crest on it. Right next to that is the number of guild coins you have. You get those just by watching the show. And if you are a subscriber, you earn those at twice the rate, so you get them even faster. And they let you do a lot of really cool stuff. Most of the things or all the things really are in that that menu if you click on the icon. But the really cool stuff is plot points, and you can see those right over here. They allow you to actually interject things into the game. Kind of get to side seat DM in a good way. You can throw in whatever you like, have whatever you want in the scene changed, or take things out of the scene. Depending on how many plot points you spend is how big of a change that is. There's a full description of them in the panels down below. You can also click on each individual option in the guild coin menu, and it'll give you a full description. But it's really cool. You get to interject things into the scene, and we've had that change entire story arcs before in some shows with the persistent use of them. So definitely check that out. The DM does have final say on what gets added in, so if it is super game breaking or it just really does not make sense at all with the story, they may edit it a little bit to make it fit a little better, but generally we'll try to stick as close as possible to your suggestions. And then finally, if you'd like to help support the channel, keep the lights on and all that, there's a number of ways that you can do that as well. If you look at this chart right over here at the bottom, it says coffee.com/raven or raven.rocks. That's how you can do direct donations, so that those funds go immediately towards the channel. You can also use subscriptions and bits, which, without going into too much boring detail, that goes through Twitch, and there's a waiting period for that and all that. All of them are equally useful. And then finally, you can do Patreon. So our Bard tier and higher patrons get credit towards your actions every month that they can redeem at any point. In particular, something cool about Patreon right now, I am almost done with Fundamental RPG 2nd Edition. So if you are a patron right now, you're getting previews of that pretty frequently. And then within the next week or so, we should have our first round of editing done on that. And a full playtest version is going to be available to Bard tier and up patrons. If you're unfamiliar with Fundamental RPG, it's the system that I designed and we use for shows like Badlands. It was used for Badlands. We use it for Animus Absentus and Water right now. Also, Lightbringer last season was run on that system. So it's pretty cool stuff. Definitely worth checking out. And again, Patreon is right there in the chat. Also, huge thank you to Michael Wayne for the 500 bits. And that's going to be, looks like an advantage to the cast. Speaking of advantage, I wanted to talk a little bit about what all this stuff is right here. So the D4 and D6 in this case is going to be an extra die or an automatic success on one die for how the system works. The switch allows the player or the DM, either one, to change somebody else's verb, or rather make them change it. To give you an example, if you have a bard in your party and they are doing the cliche thing of going, I want to seduce the dragon. Well, if your players or your DM is fed up of the bard trying to seduce the dragon every time, they can throw out a switch and say you have to change your verb. And so it has to be something that's not a direct synonym. So it's a fun way to nudge the story in different directions. Advantage and reroll, you roll twice and take the better of the two results. The main difference between those two being an advantage has to be called beforehand, and a reroll can happen at any time. Complication is kind of like plot points on steroids. You can throw out a complication to add 1 to 3 sentences of whatever you would like. Again, the DM might edit it a little bit. It's super game breaking or something like that. For example, if they're facing the big bad evil guy and you throw out a complication that says he just dies, that would end the show and obviously wouldn't be that entertaining for anyone. So we would probably change that. But within reason, whatever you want, 1 to 3 sentences, we'll throw it into the game. Swapping 2 players for 5 minutes means that they will play each other's characters. So you could have 2 of the cast members playing each other's characters, or you could even have one of the cast members being the DM for 5 minutes and Zan playing their character for 5 minutes. So it's really fun. It's always entertaining to see. And then finally is the 1-up. If there is a character that you really like and you really want to see them survive the campaign, this is a great way to make sure that happens. It's not exactly an I'm immortal card, but it does give them a fighting chance to get out of some sticky situations. So what happens is if they would go unconscious from lack of hit points or die, whatever the system equivalent to that is, rather than them just dying, um, they will come back at whatever the equivalent of 1 hit point is for the system that we're playing. So they're still not great. They're still in danger probably, but it gives them an extra chance to get out of the situation. So um, that is a great way to make sure that characters stick around. And I think that is everything we had to cover before the game. So we're going to go meet the cast. I'm going to hand everything off to Zan, and he's going to introduce everybody, and then I will see you all after the game. So let's go ahead and head over there if I can find the right screen. Here we go. And Zan, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we gather here tonight to tell a story about vampires. So, before we begin telling our story, how about we go around the cast and let everybody introduce themselves? So, we're going to start this time with Nat. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you're going to be playing today.
Hi, I'm Nat, or Natatui. I'm playing Mikey, a sneaky Nosferatu.
Excellent. And Michael, why don't you follow up?
Hello there, I will be playing Tabitha Tabbell, a Torador vampire that's just gonna be probably doing something wrong, but he'll be fine. And enjoying giving a cute little Raven a treat, but it's all fine.
And Manicourse.
Hello, my name is Tawny. I am playing Maeve, a gangrel who ripped out somebody's tongue last time. So excited to see where this goes.
You did.
Apparently, I'm getting a little too close to Tab, but I'm enjoying myself. So.
And last but not least, Silas or Jet.
Hello there, I'm Slowpoke. I'm going to be playing Silas, or should I say Jet, so I use mostly, a very, very paranoid Malkavian at the moment.
Yeah, I think everyone's a little bit paranoid. We do have 2 player characters that will not be joining us today. Pastor Joseph, played by the delightful Kaze, and Lydia, played by Tess the World. You should go check both of them out on their Twitter handles below. But life happens sometimes, and they're not able to join us today. And last but most certainly not least, at least in my opinion, I am Zan. I will be the storyteller for this game as we tell our little tale of dark and gritty vampire goodness. You can catch me at the links that I just dropped into chat at insanitygaming.com and twitter.com/insanityttrpg for all your good tabletop gaming goodness. So, before we begin, darkness lies ahead. La Famille Boucherie is a program that embraces the night, the darkness within it, alongside the darkness within each of us. As such, this game may feature content that is troubling or triggering to some viewers. If you are sensitive to topics such as homelessness, drug use, blood play, violence against innocents, gaslighting or manipulation, thievery, body horror, or other monstrous themes that may arise during play, please proceed with caution. Otherwise, we invite you to share our story and bask in that which makes us human and that which brings out the inner beast in us all. Laissez les bons temps brûler. Let's let the good times roll. Excellent. So, where we left off last time, things had escalated fairly quickly. Lydia had stayed behind outside the pulse of the night to try to influence the owner of the adjacent bar's business leanings, while the rest of our party investigated a nearby church. They, Maeve and Pastor Joseph, posed as a wandering sheep and a shepherd, as they were led into the church, while the rest of our party hung out and waited outside. As things escalated inside, eventually a firearm was pulled, and then a tongue was pulled out. Um, a vehicle, a familiar vehicle, approached the church, and Tabitha, through a surprising roll that I don't think any of us saw coming, managed to completely bullshit her way into the cab. And took a little ride down the road, exchanging a little bit of contact information before getting promptly booted out onto the rural sidewalk. Afterwards, the rest of our party, having heard the commotion and through a series of very brief text messages, made their way back inside the church to see the carnage that lay before them. And after a moment of moral introspection, decided it would be better to simply rip this ghoul priest's tongue out rather than outright kill him. After doing so, they left, and now we find them in the parking lot of the church, coming to terms with the reality of their situation. Let's tell us a story about vampires, shall we? So
Hello.
Tabitha, you are still walking back at this point. You're a couple of miles down the road. They're gonna have to pick you up and find you somewhere. I'm assuming you're gonna shoot him a text message and let him know what the situation is.
Oh yeah, but like I thought you were just saying, oh, we fast forward to the point where Tabitha had came into the parking lot.
We definitely can. It depends if there's anything that the party immediately wants to discuss in the parking lot, or if they just. Yep.
No, Jet's gonna get out of here. If the others are staying, he's leaving.
Well,
So, what are the others doing? Are you leaving with Jet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Mikey will want to get out of there, definitely.
yeah.
The pastor will go along with you. So the four of you pile into Jet's car and drive down the road. After about 5-7 minutes, you see a familiar shape sauntering. That's the word. Man, English is hard. You see a familiar shape sauntering down the road that you can assume is Tabitha.
Okay, we should probably pull over.
No, I pull over.
Tab!
Hey, how
What the
you
fuck?
doing? Well, here's the thing. I did better than expected. That's a good thing. Hey, and your sweet little bird, just best thing in the world, followed me. So they deserved a treat. I already gave them one.
I throw the tongue to the bird.
Oh, the
Ooh,
bird
tasty.
is loving it.
Just snaps it out of the air. Hey, you should get in. Get in.
Oh,
now.
I am.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Good news is they're wanting me to sneak a bodies into, which I'm guessing that's part of the people that are the prince doesn't want involved, so we can cut them off the head. We can either eliminate them, get some information out of them. Like, I figured, like, we'll figure what you guys would prefer then.
I said bodies. Like, yeah. Just coffins?
They said sneak in people, so I,
Well, yeah,
I
but
think
I'm
it's one or
assuming
the
people
other.
with vampires, which means coffins, but I'm not sure.
I'll get my guy at Benneth Keith. They'll have a frozen truck. They'll be a bit cold, but no one will be the wiser.
So what's the interrogate them?
Oh yeah, once they get snuck into, we'll either if you guys want to just cut off their heads or do whatever, I'll leave that to you. I figured you all did so well. Like you probably did all so well at the church. That's why you're picking me up.
Yeah, that's why I threw a tongue to my bird. Anyway, The pastor, priest, dude, whatever, was a ghoul. I think of your friend in the truck.
He was no pastor. The path that he walked was not one of God.
Yeah, he was playing more devil's advocate, if you will.
Interesting.
Someone enthralled by Lucian Chekhov, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
They're important, aren't they?
Well, if my reasoning is along the line, I'd say that he's probably a ministry representative. In that case, we might have, no pun intended, a loose tongue to deal with. I wouldn't want to have the ministry on my back.
No, they're always so upkeep. They have a horrible dress code, and they always want to push something in your face that you don't agree with. Just ugh.
Yeah, that's fair. It definitely seemed what the priest, pastor, dude person had in his brain.
Yeah, for the audience, the Maeve entered looking like a strung out person on their last legs, and the priest first reaction was to give her a place to stay and leave a full cup of nice whiskey in front of her. This was probably not the most morally upstanding man.
Nice whiskey.
He revealed that his philosophy was only in the presence of temptation can you make the righteous choice.
Yeah. Which I think is shitty. Anyway, do we have a timeline for your bodies?
Not yet, but I gave them my call, or they'll call up. So give them a day or two. They'll probably.
I mean, that's real nice and all, but it's nothing to do with what we're doing, is it? I mean, we got a timeline here.
Well, again, I don't know exactly when they're going to come through yet. I know it's soon. It's also in connection to the larger things. Like, again, this is the next step. Like, I'm not sure. Wasn't able to help on the current step. The next step I was able to. Again, and I got my call I need to do with Rob to deal with that place, that horrible cooking place, restaurant across from the Night Pulse. I am will deal with that. You won't have to worry about that. I'll call up Rob. He'll cite up the many things they've done wrong. I'll talk with.
Sweetheart, you don't have to do everything. Calm down.
Well,
But
again,
we
this is
need
where
to
I am
calm.
like I know business. I can shut down business very well.
Yeah. We need to focus on what the prince wants. Otherwise, we're probably going to get skewered by his scourge, regardless of
Oh,
my connections.
well, again, like I'm not seeing how that's a bad thing, but then again, the surge sounds like if they get into you, it'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, she seems like someone I would certainly want to be friends with. But yeah, we need to figure out what we're doing now. Like, what is our plan for now? When does the sun rise?
Sunrise is going to be in about probably about 3 hours.
3 hours. It's been a long night. I went to a nightclub, I went to a church, and now
Where to?
we've pissed someone off.
You get a text message, Maeve, from Lydia, telling you that she's back at the apartment.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about her transport for the rest of the night.
Okay. Well, Lydia's safe. Yeah. Let's get things rolling on this potential refrigerated truck.
Yes, as soon as they give me a call, I will get with Bennett Keith. they'll have that in. They're also going to help with, once I give them the call, should help with the stopping of supplies and food to the restaurant so that they'll have no new income coming in, multiple citations, make it easy for sale.
Fair enough.
And if all goes well, I can get my a neighbor who's a great butcher. Him and his wife, utter delight. They do great butchering. They can step up in the world, so it'll be a win-win for everyone.
Depending on what Miranda wants to do.
Oh, good point. I didn't think of that.
So, Jet, you look a bit jumpy.
No. Just resonating what I should do the next 24 hours in order to stay alive. Apart from that, I'm good.
Yeah. I suppose we should probably maybe expand on that.
I suggest that we get everyone to their havens tonight. After that, I suggest that we plan a point in time to set up for what's going to happen. For tonight, we need to focus on staying the fuck alive and the fuck far away we can from any ministry that we would stumble upon, as it were. And we should also majorly consider what the hell to tell the prince. Because if you don't think the prince will know about this, you're very, very naive.
Oh, no, he's definitely going to know about this.
Of course, he'll know of your success.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't.
If you call leaving a loose end a success...
Do you want to go back
No,
to
I would not think of it. I was under the impression that you all were professionals and you did things well while I went off and did things because I wouldn't be of direct help.
I mean, we've got time yet, right? We can fix this. We haven't got to go back to the prince tomorrow night. We've got a few nights, right?
The longer we wait, the worse this looks.
No, but we can patch it up. We can do the mission. This was just a bit of a false start.
Yes, and remember the first chronicle here. We still need to maintain, as the system works. We cannot fuck with it. We've done nothing but. This might be one of the main arteries for the ministry in order to maintain their herd. If we fuck that up, if we close down their gathering of their herd because of this, this will be a criminal investigation along the line.
Silas, you would know that the ministry is formally banned from the city. This New Orleans is no haven for the ministry.
Officially.
Yeah, officially they are. They are. Whereas lycanthropes, changelings, mages are all varying degrees of welcome, albeit tense. The ministry holds no such favor.
Fair enough. It still resonates to what about the masquerade?
Yeah, you're very right.
So do you want to go back and kill him and dispose of the body? Because a loose end, at this point, is blood in the water and draws the problem towards us.
I think we should,
Could not agree more.
I think we should at least go back and see maybe who else turns up there tonight. Maybe one of the ministry, calls it home.
Maybe. And then we grab that guy and take him to the prince.
Yeah, that sounds like a result.
Well, Jet, you seem to be the expert in this, so I would go on what you would think is best.
To be quite fair, after this, if that preacher is still alive, the ministry knows something happened. If they're on their way, I'd be very surprised. I think they would lay low. I think they would gather their resources, figure out what they're up against. We're a new enemy.
Yes, we are.
So for now, I don't think it would amount to much. You might kill the person, sure.
So, what's the plan?
Well, to be fair, you guys have done whatever the hell you want tonight. Why would I care?
Well, what do you want to do?
Well, again, I think I don't know about you. I played to my expertise. I made sure that business arrangements for the next step of whoever in their web would come to us, and we could direct them either to the prince or interrogate us ourselves.
And
That's
mine
the
is
best I could do.
manipulation, not execution.
Yeah, best I can do is probably a good needle in the neck. They're unable to move, talk, and then usually we'll move that off to the circuitry. They drain them of blood, so that way at least the body doesn't go waste.
So we're going back then, right? Is that the decision?
Jet, what would you think, honey? Because again, I'm not the expert on this. You are.
Ooh, Jet is not in the mind space for this. Not at all.
Jet, what would you most like to do right now?
Hey, Jet, why don't you make a willpower check for me?
Thank you. I was waiting for that. Let's see. Willpower. That would be. There we are. And let's see. That'll be 4 currently,
Okay,
I think.
let's see how this goes.
Let's see.
1 success. Ooh, those 2 ones. Okay, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Describe to everyone what your compulsion is, your clan bane as a Malkavian, if you would be so kind.
I'd like to be alone in the car. That's my compulsion right now. And it's quite prominent.
Okay.
And I have a phone to make. I have a phone call to make.
So, is the best option to get them out of the car and in their havens? Or is the best option to leave them at the church?
No, he doesn't want to go back to the church.
Sounds like the decision's made then.
No, we're not going back. I'm leaving you at your hovels, or I'm leaving you here.
I will take the hobbles if you don't mind.
I'd prefer a ride back into the city.
All right, let's go back.
All right. Jet's gonna be like he's actually not. If there is music on, he'll turn it off. He'll be for the next 20 minutes of driving. He'll just be very, very fidgety, like slapping the steering wheel, just very impatiently trying to get this done.
And Jet, you know that you've turned this radio off. You've tried to turn it off 2 times, 5 times as you've been driving. You can see the lights out of the corner of your eyes. You can hear hectic classical music played on an orchestra. Every note slightly off tune. The polar opposite of any harmony you would wish to hear. Every time you look, the radio's turned off, and the song in your head changes. Seems to form a soundtrack, and the soundtrack is ominous. It's a beating heart that has no right to beat, playing music between your ears, and it deeply unsettles you for your drive. For the rest of the night, you're going to take a -1 to any social rolls until you get some sleep. Just as a heads up. And yeah, we're going to say that Jet drops each of you off at your haven, Pastor included. And we're going to take a little bit of a time jump. We're going to see when do you all plan to reconvene?
I mean,
Go ahead.
no, it's okay.
Well, Jet at least he intends, as soon as he's dropped everyone off, he's gonna go back home, and he's gonna try to set up a meeting with Leroy, preferably as soon as possible, probably tomorrow night.
Okay.
After that, he's open for whenever. He's not gonna tell people that though.
Mikey, what are your plans for the coming days?
For the coming days, Mikey wants to get the job done, so Mikey wants to meet up as soon as possible. The following night, Mikey will be texting the group chat, if we have some kind of group chat, and asking when we're meeting up, and we'll keep along that line until a response is received.
Excellent. Tabitha, what are your plans?
Well, the first thing would be like when gets home, would be calling up Rob the inspector with a list of 100 minor things that Tab noticed while being in the restaurant. Then call in Cisco, their food supplier, there, and roughly set it so that like that they are shut down. They're getting no food, no profit. And Tabitha is paying off Benedict Keith, Cisco, to not have them deliver there, so that way they are actually going to another location and making profit twice off the deliveries they would make to this restaurant instead of delivering it to there, and making it as horrible as possible. And then at one night, like, come in very like white, looking at very much like an OSHA inspector, pointing out everything that's wrong with the actual workers, and give the restaurant owner like the final thing of like a night or two later of just like, we can shut you down and it costs you all these money and fees, or you can actually just sell and get rid of the place and make a tiny little profit.
We're gonna take that one step at a time.
Okay.
But
Yeah, you asked for
I am
plans.
gonna say that you have effectively called in all of your favors at this point. You're taking a pretty big boon, interfering with the mortal world in this way. Maeve, what are your plans for the coming days? What do you conspire with Lydia?
I'm probably going to be messaging Tab about this supposed refrigerated truck full of bodies that may or may not need interrogating, because I'm quite interested in that. Maeve and I are mostly just attempting, not Maeve and I, Lydia and I, for some reason I am Lydia apparently, are trying to gather as much information as we can about the city and about unusual happenings, just any kindred we can maybe get into contact with that are of the prince's court. Just looking for additional strings to pull, additional trails to follow, breadcrumbs.
Okay, excellent. So I think let's let the camera pan to tomorrow night. Jet, what kind of meeting are you trying to orchestrate with Roy?
Usually, whenever we actually meet in person, she tends to pick me up somewhere, either from my home or somewhere else. And I usually don't have to make sure that it's happening, or even when she'll arrive, I'll literally just either have a knock at my door or someone drive up next to me on the on the side of the road.
Yeah, you I think as you an hour or so after you wake the next night, you're holding your phone, wondering if you should send the text message or not, as the phone buzzes in your hand telling you that she's outside waiting on you.
I'm already on my feet. I'm grabbing my coat and I head out. I hardly remember to lock the door.
Okay. Her car is in the driveway. What does she drive?
She's fairly classy about it. I'm gonna say some. It wouldn't be anything like a limo. She's driving herself for sure, but probably something late 70s muscle car.
Nice. Does a T-bird feel right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
All right. Very nice, cleanly detailed, fresh paint job, despite the age of the car. And as you approach, the passenger door opens.
I sit in and I close the door behind me.
Who does this person waiting for you in the car? What does this person waiting for you in the car look like?
She has the appearance of someone in their late to mid 30s somewhere. She's I see. Should be on the lighter side of African American. She has, in my head anyway. She resembles Tab more than I like at times. In her appearance, just physically. As for her clothes, she's very much businesslike. Probably she's suited up. This early in the evening, I wouldn't be expecting her to not have some kind of meeting to go to, even though I still don't know exactly who she works for.
Okay. And yeah, she waits for you to get in, waits for you to buckle your seatbelt, and your head is pushed back into the seat as she floors it. Engine quickly redlining as she takes the streets at a breakneck pace. She looks to you, eyes completely off the road. So you wanted to talk?
Who exactly is trying to fuck with us? This is who the fuck sends greenhorns to deal with something the prince has any interest in? I don't get this. I really don't get this. This is fucking with me. They're sending people that they act like they don't know what the masquerade is for. I'm in my head again.
She listens. You can tell by the way she's looking at you. She's listening, even when you're not talking. Reading the twitch of your nose, watching the rhythmic rising and falling of the pointless air in your chest. Forces of habit, but comforts in a way. And she says, well, perhaps the way to look at it is the ostrich is burying its head in the sand.
What else is new?
If the ostrich that sees the lion alerts the rest of the pack, the rest of the flock, then maybe it would be the slowest and least able to run away. But if said ostrich is the only one to see the lion, quietly places themselves in the middle, and puts their head down, able to plead blind ignorance, someone's bound to get taken first.
Ain't that the truth? All right. All right. I get it. On that end, though, do you know what our assignment is?
You don't hold a lot of secrets from me, child. Your dreams talk to me.
Then how much do you know?
I know.
How much do you know of the Hakata?
Oh, asking the right questions, are you? I think the Hakata themselves are not it's not the family that you should be looking into. It's one specific line, and their friendship with a wayward cousin. A wayward cousin that likes to play with snakes.
Snakes.
I
Are
don't
you telling me
think-
the ministry is involved in this directly?
I have heard things in other cities.
Well, in that case,
And-
we've kicked up a hornet's nest.
I don't know much about this particular line of the family, but it's not the Giovanni you have to worry about.
The who?
Well, news gets here slow, doesn't it? Don't worry. I'm sure you'll figure it out. But, maybe think like a fly and not like a lion for a change. Think of what a fly would want to be near. Look for that. Use your nose. You're smart. You've got this.
Time to change the game.
I think you need a little more information before you're playing the game the right way. But you're almost there. I feel it. You'll know once you're there. You'll see the light shining its way. You'll know.
I'm gonna use premonition.
Okay. All right. Premonition. You see a corpse lying atop a fire, a funeral pyre. Even in your well, how does your premonition actually what sense does your premonition act through? I don't want to remove your agency from the situation.
It's more. It's like hearing a radio play.
Hearing the radio.
Like a live musical happening over radio only. Very little visuals, just senses of what's trying to get through.
You hear a dirge, a funeral march, the sound of weeping in the background, the sickly sliding of a shovel through wet dirt. And then you hear a voice, smooth and sultry. And let us not fear the shadows as we walk through the valley of death. For thine is the kingdom and power. As the voice speaks, you hear crackling of fire in the background. And I think that's your premonition.
All right. It's so it's a funeral march then. A lot of people's gonna die in this, aren't they?
Depends on what you do.
Depends on what the goal is. For now, we have one. Time to get some more information, see if that goal changes.
I think that's a
Thank you.
good idea. No problem. No problem. And she lets you out of the car, and you are bewildered. You've been redlining it for at least 20 minutes, maybe more, depending on how long you were out of it with your premonition. But you're not more than a block away from your house. She planned this trip exactly. She knew the script before she picked you up. That's Leroy for you. Mikey, how are you addressing the group?
He'll start quite, hey guys, hope you're okay. So what's the plan? When are we meeting? And if he doesn't get a response or any kind of time, he's just going to keep kind of peppering them with messages repeatedly over and over again until they give a date and a time. He doesn't really have any other plans, and he wants to get the mission done.
Are you going to investigate any of the cues that you have? Are you going to look into that truck any further? Look into the church. Look into the owner or the clientele of the Pulse on the Night. Or are you going to just wait for the rest of the crew?
I think if the second night after we were at the church, if no one comes up with a date or time we're meeting, towards the end of that night, Mikey would go back to the church and stake it out.
Okay. Yeah, just for clarity's sake, when is everyone planning to get in touch with Mikey?
Tabitha would have just said, like, give the shrug emoji. Just like, I don't know, whenever you guys are wanting to.
Jet, as soon as he's done with his arrangement, then he'll answer to, well, Tab, you're the one with any potential information. Unless you have something new, I suggest we meet up and do what we can, plan what we can.
I feel like Maeve would message Mikey back, like, you're welcome to come over to our haven. We're looking into some of the other kindred around the city and seeing what they know about any activity that would go against the prince. People who have not been sanctioned. So, welcome to come hang out, follow some more breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I think Mikey would take that. Mikey would go over to yours. He wants some brownie points with the Camarilla, so that sounds like a good plan for him.
All right, well, let's move the camera to that scene then. Lydia, Maeve, and Mikey at the haven of Maeve and Lydia. How does this night go?
Well, I'd probably start by kind of asking Mikey what he knows. He's kind of a local, right?
Mikey's been here for a while, yeah?
Yeah, so Mikey, what do you know about the kindred in the area? I'm not too familiar. I didn't get too briefed by my boss in New Jersey.
Yeah, my question is, what would Mikey know? Because I think he's been more doing he's done a bit of shadowing people. I think he probably would know some tidbits, but it's not really his speciality. But what do you think? You know.
I think Mikey would know that this is it's solidly a Camarilla city. There is some Sabbat presence. There's not an outright blood hunt on any errant Sabbat or any errant anarchs that enter the city, with the exception of the ministry. There is a higher than average supernatural presence in New Orleans. And I think with Mikey's connections, he would be able to dig up pretty easily that church. Sorry, my brain just completely turned off there. You would be able to figure out that the church that you all visited earlier is fairly recent, and with a little bit of background investigations, which we could probably say that you looked into pretty easily, that it was some of the books are a little questionable. And is there anything else in what in particular are you curious about? That are you curious about Mikey knowing?
I am curious about what new activity is going on in the city that the prince would not find amenable to his kingdom.
You find I think Mikey, you find this and you probably bring it to their haven. A news article from last week of someone being viciously attacked by a coyote. Maybe a coyote. Maybe? The bite was big. But
Yeah, so
someone's throat completely torn out.
That doesn't
Mikey would.
usual city center activity.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like what are they called? Werewolves?
Chupacabras?
I hear there's quite a few of them. It's a bit of a hotbed, this place.
Yeah, or maybe
Why don't you make intelligence and occult roll for me there, Mikey?
Okay. Occult. Occult is not good.
Or investigation. No.
Oh, okay. I did occult. Investigation's better, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, give that a shot then.
Yeah.
Oh, make sure that you're adding your intelligence there.
Oh, is it not coming through? Let's try the other way around.
I think so. It looks like it only rolled one dice.
Yes, so that's gonna have 0 in occult.
What's your intelligence?
1.
Oh, okay. Well, then yeah, that came through then. Yeah, try intelligence and investigation. Sorry, that was my slip up.
Ooh. 1 success.
One success. It There's something about it that's weird. It doesn't look like the bite from an animal. It's too deliberate. Never seen an animal bite right on that big chunk of muscle at the base of the neck. It's sharp. It looks almost, if you had to put it to anything, it looks almost like a shark, yeah.
Where was this?
This was near this was near the St. Louis Cemetery number 1. Just outside of the French Quarter.
And this is a week ago.
Yep.
not very fresh, as news goes. Do you know any kindred that hang around that area? Anyone of particular insanity who might keep their ear to the ground, aside from Jet?
Yeah, Mikey, I think you know some
Yeah.
folks out in that area. That's a cemetery. There's crypts. There's catacombs. That's prominent no stomping ground.
Yeah, I know a few of my guys there.
Let's go ask them what they've maybe witnessed. If that sounds amenable to you.
I mean, sure, but what about the job that the prince gave us? I mean, we gotta prioritize that, right?
The job with what? Sorry?
The job that the prince gave us, we gotta prioritize that, right?
I figure this is kind of part of what the prince wants us to do. Finding these people who are infiltrating, invading, and
Oh, you think it might be our kind? You think it might be kindred?
oh yeah, I definitely think this might be something kindred that is infiltrating the city. Personally, I might be wrong, but
Okay,
yeah, I think this is a connection.
okay, let's go
Right.
take a look then.
So, Mikey, who are you organizing a conversation with? Are you going to investigate on your own, or are you trying to find someone to guide you through the St. Louis Cemetery?
I'm certainly going to come with. Just putting that out there.
For a little bit of backstory for people who are not super familiar with New Orleans, just a little thing. A lot of famous people are buried in the St. Louis Cemetery. They even charge admission to do tours. It is an absolutely beautiful historic cemetery. I highly encourage you to Google some images of it. It is breathtaking. Because of that, it is significant. Yeah. So, Mikey.
Okay. I mean, do I think I'm going to have difficulties getting in? Am I going to have to curry some favors in order to get access, or?
Well, it normally charges admission, so it'll probably be locked at night. It'll just depend on if you want people to know that you're looking into this, or if you want to take the riskier approach, and go in alone.
Yeah, I think Mikey would take the sneaky approach. So he would ask Maeve if she's are you any good at stealthing? You any good at being quiet?
Am I any good at stealth?
Fairly
Let me
dexterous.
check my statistics. I forgot. Stealthy, stealthy, stealthy. Yeah, I'm stealth-ish. I'm definitely, again, willing to come with and climb any fences, or I could also pay off security. It's not a big deal.
I mean, do you think we should ask the others, or I think too big a group would maybe attract too much attention.
Yeah, maybe just two of us in like ninja
right.
outfits.
Lydia
Yeah.
says, "I'll come. I'll hang outside in case you need backup."
Lydia?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, someone on the outside just in case wouldn't go amiss, I don't think.
All right. So you all make your plans for the following evening. Mikey, you've heard from everyone except the pastor. Just as a
Okay.
heads up, the pastor is known.
So we do have presumably a group chat, and he's just not responding to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in the group I would just be like, "Hey, pastor, you there?" and keep along that line for a bit. Maybe then directly message the pastor and be like, "Hey, you okay?" And then we'd probably mention it to Maeve.
In a direct message, he does reply. It says, I'm doing a little bit of contemplation, a little bit of soul searching. I feel like I've walked too close to the shadows, and I need a little while to find my path again before I begin to walk, lest I fall into a crevice.
No. Sorry.
Mikey would. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Mikey would what?
He just responds something like, "Oh, all right. I'm not really sure what you mean, but just let us know when you're ready to meet up again."
Will do. And Tabitha, what are you? What? So we got a night. Are you planning to accompany? Well, Mikey and Maeve, have y'all made your plans public?
We would post and say we're doing this. I don't think we'd invite any more because I think, like we said, a small group's better. We just say we are doing this and then leave it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like Tabitha would go. Best of luck. Jet, would you like to accompany me as I deal with the restaurant? Give me a bit direction if I need to. Also, need to do is just have a clipboard on hand.
Bring the clipboard.
Yeah, essentially, Tab is inviting Jet along so that if Tabitha gets off focus, Jet can refocus them.
Yeah, Jed'll say yes to that. He'll also drop to Mikey. If you're talking to more of you guys, as you know, drop the name Giovanni in there. We might need some information on that. I believe it to be another clan I'm not familiar with.
All right. Thank you.
Sounds like they should be in New Jersey instead of in New Orleans.
They might be connected to all this.
Probably.
And any connections to the ministry would be of interest.
All right. With plans made, a new night dawns, and I think this is a very opportune time for us to take our halfway break. So you guys think we're going to take a quick 10-minute bio. Raven's probably going to pop back in and say some stuff real quick, and or if she doesn't, then I'll just go ahead and do it anyway. We're going to take a real quick 10-minute bio, and we will be right back with the second part of tonight's fantastic episode of La Famille Boucherie. Ah. Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging around with us through that break. We are back with La Famille Boucherie. And before we crack back into the story, just a little heads up. Raven, if you wouldn't mind dropping that disclaimer back into chat. I'm going to go ahead and read our early content warning because things are about to get a little grim in the near future. A darkness lies ahead. La Famille Boucherie is a program that embraces the night, the darkness within it, alongside the darkness within each of us. As such, this game will contain content that is troubling or triggering to some viewers. If you are sensitive to topics such as homelessness, drug use, blood play, violence against innocents, manipulation, gaslighting, desecration of corpses, thievery, body horror, or other monstrous themes that may arise during play, please proceed with caution. Otherwise, we invite you to share in our story and bask in that which makes us human and that which brings out the inner beast in us all. Laissez les bons templaires. Let the good times roll. So we're going to kick things off with Tabitha and Silas as they make their way back to the high tide, which is what we're going to call this tiki bar across the street from the pulse of the night. So how do you both plan to proceed?
Tabitha has the overcoat has changed from the rather red and borscht kind of like oversuit to something that's very white, along with their pantsuit, where it looks like very beige, very official, like white. That's been official would wear day after day without ever changing as they're entering.
Okay. And Jet?
Oh,
How are you?
Jet, better. Still not back to pre-church state. Though the one blood bag I did have at home, I drunk that one.
Excellent. Go ahead and mark off one hunger then.
Yep.
Unless it's your final hunger. On that note, let's everybody go ahead and make a rouse check. Not a rouse check, a hunger check. Down at the bottom of your sheet. Yeah, rouse check.
Sorry. Yeah, rouse, yeah.
All right. 2 are safe. 3 are safe. Oh, sorry, Mikey. I didn't realize yours was at the top. All right. Everyone's beast is satiated for the night. You do feel it clawing at your stomach, egging you on, hungry for the next bite. And Jet, what were you doing?
Well, to be fair, on this end, and due to current events, he's remaining passive for this. This is Tab's role.
Okay, so you're just there to provide emotional support.
Potential manipulating if needed.
All right.
With the clipboard.
All right, as you enter, you see a dark-skinned man hang up the phone angrily and sigh. It's early evening at this point, probably 8 o'clock. Just not too long after you've all arisen from your daily torpor, and he looks frustrated and then deeply unhappy when he sees you again.
Tis, tis, tis. I see you haven't changed anything.
No, we haven't. We're just everything's okay. We're just going through a little bit of a supplier issue.
Yes, and the fact that your employees are not wearing gloves as they're handling the foods as they should.
Now, I'm fairly certain you don't know jack shit about our employees' standards back of house.
And Tabitha pulls out a card that says Tobithius Belanoxis OSHA certified.
Okay.
And just places that down like, well, I wouldn't say it's well since we've had many notes, especially from Robert, who's had a nice, I believe, check in on many violations this morning.
Why don't you make a manipulation and we're gonna say persuasion roll.
Okay. Uh, Manipulation and persuasion, correct?
Yeah, so go down to skills and under persuasion, click the dice and
Uh,
tie that to manipulation.
Any modifiers since they.
No modifiers. Whew. Not that you fucking needed the modifiers for successes, Jeezy Pete's. Yeah, he kind of grits his teeth and says, "Oh, well, if you were OSHA, why didn't you say so? Sure, we're happy to show you the back of house."
Yeah, see, if I had just announced that the last time I was in here, I wouldn't have been able to note many violations you have going on.
So, what would you like to see?
Uh, I would like to see like some improvements since last time, including in the back, because everything up front I can already have my associates noting and writing them down already. Which I'm guessing Jet is just looking like they're writing down stuff.
Yeah.
Ever so often.
As I'm already finding the papers, I'm starting to pull one glove on.
Yeah. See, like this is very simple things. Like, yeah. Now, Uh, we have multiple violations as we've heard from very many customers. We have food poisoning. And not only that, that we have calls from a couple of your employees have not been properly paid.
Mm. So, follow me. And you're taken back into the back. And it's working clean. Definitely midway through shift. It's not spotless. There's a few violations. It looks like maybe some sauces are not on ice. Um, Maybe the sweet tea is a little bit less than fresh. Uh,
You don't have anything temperature there properly done. And what do I see? Like, you have your warmer here down at 45? Like, how? Like, you want that to be 45 if you're wanting to cool things down before you take them into walking. You can't be keeping things warm at 45. You have to be minimum up in 90 degrees. And that's if I'm being lenient here. And you're not even, I can't even excuse this. And not only the filters there, that you haven't even cleaned them out. Many violations just on the vents. You're not making it very helpful for the people here that work and breathe in this environment.
and he's just gritting his teeth and nodding. I will be sure to clean to give a deep clean tonight.
I don't think you're gonna need more than that. But now, again, as have put down, like there are many things here. But again, as because of my friend across the way had turned me on to here, like I will be gracious enough and refer you to their offer. That way you can just save yourself so many costs in repair and fixing things up and just walk away with small little profit.
By the way, do we carry with us any particular or any potential contract as we're saying this?
Yeah, like Tabitha had, like from the other time, had just
Yeah, Tabitha has a contract provided, a change of ownership form from the Pulse.
now again, like it's gonna take a while for you to do this. Like I can tell you, Whereas to get the amount of things like violations fixed, you're getting near to a quarter, if not half a mil in fixes here. And that's going to, for most people, that'll just break them, having to put that many costs into repairs. But again, you can't just wash your hands because my friends, your neighbors, have so graciously willing to just take this away from you. So you don't have to worry about it.
And the business will functionally remain unchanged.
Well, that depends solely on how much you want to be involved. As you look at the contract, like, again, we allow for like a 5% interest in there as a stockholder that you will have. But
This is this,
unfortunately,
this is my lineage.
yes. And again, and as you notice in subsection 45, there is another location that has been opened up. Uh, Not the same location, not as fast, but is already formulated fit for a restaurant. Rather than having to retrofit like you've done with a lot of here already.
Go
You
ahead
have to
and
look
make
at subsection 45.
go ahead and make a manipulation and subterfuge roll for me.
Okay, and
Subterfuge skill tied to manipulation. No modifiers. 3 successes. Yeah, he's gonna nod his head and kind of sigh and stay silent for about a minute.
well, it is nice doing business with you. And if like you want any help on making things are fit to OSHA standards, you can call me on my pager, and I can help you so much in your improvements. And do you remember that you need to file in section 32,
Give me
55B?
give me the
They
damn paper.
puts it out and like reminder, you have a 5% ownership in this location, so you're still making a profit after this afterwards.
Uh God damn it. Fine. And he signs and dates the paper and slides it over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. It's nice dealing with you.
Um, and yeah, that task has been accomplished. Do you return to the Pulse on the night?
We'll check in with Jet first. So, like, is there anything else like you would like to do before we go to the Pulse?
No, I'm good.
Okay, then we shall go off.
I make a thing out of scratching out everything on the list that I was working on.
Uh, you did very good notes. I must say a note on that, Jet. Very good notes. Very well done. Like, hey, remind me the next time I procure some blood to get some your way.
That would be appreciated.
So I guess we go to the nightclub and talk to the manager.
All right. As you make your way back in, it's another night full of people, full of the smell of sweat, sin, liquor. Uh, each of you make a rouse check for me.
Oh, Charles! It's how good to see you again.
Silas, the notion of getting that blood bag tied up with your sharpened senses from all specs is starting to make that beast gnaw at you a little bit more. You feel your hunger increase. Tabitha, you won. You proved you were the best. You did the job that you were set out to do, and you did it in style. And the beast wants payment for that. Both of your hungers increased by 1. Uh, yeah, you make your way into the club feeling a little more hungry than you were a few moments ago. How do you proceed?
Mm. She'll first, like again, like just give pleasantry to Charles the bouncer there before going in. Which I'm guessing that's the main reason, like the very tempted and wanting to feed is just like, oh, there's Charles. There's the opportunity there. But business first, business first.
And Jet makes a thing out of before we get too far into the locale, so I'll tap her on the shoulder. Just so you're aware, me and Miranda also have a agreement. Don't touch too much upon it. Don't bring me too much into it.
Yes. Again, I will leave that to you. You know. But again, like you probably, I'll just mention that you're here to make sure, keep you on track.
And yeah, you make your way in, and after standing slightly more predatorily than some of the other clientele, Miranda walks her way over and says, "Well, it's so good to see you again.
It's
Uh,
always a pleasure.
would you like to have a chat in one of our VIP rooms?"
Oh, as that would be very appreciated. But I believe we need to focus on a business that I agreement with you. I said beforehand.
Oh, do you have something for me?
Well, again, it would be best to do this privately.
Of course. And she takes you back into her office.
And Tabitha pulls out, and now here's at least the lease agreement. They will be getting like roughly a 5% stake, which uh, will allow them to be happy. And if they do anything to cause problems in advance, they will end up having to pay fines for that. So that should cover you on any reconscience or any revenge thoughts they might have.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for this.
Yes.
You have my gratitude. What would you like in exchange?
Well, before I think I would at least like to, because I have a butcher that might be very good for this. I want to at least and pulls out like a couple of documents with resumes and all for their neighbor that's a butcher. This should allow for a good expansion, look for things to be pleasant, and for you to make an additional profit off their blood and such as they do that. Like I have worked with them in the past. That should be helpful in establishing things if you don't have anyone in mind already. I just want to be helpful on that. Our personal agreement, I believe, Jet, uh, for keeping here on focus, is to gain more information and things for the prince to just quiet him so that we can make him happy for the moment, and for the lady to actually take care of your dry cleaning and outfits. I believe was the deal.
The lady is easy business. What do you ask for my boon?
Uh, for
What
your
specifically do you ask in return for completing this favor for me?
uh, I believe it was more information that we had asked to accrue on these infection that are bothersome to the prince. Um, Jet, what was that again? I'm sorry. Like, I tend to be focused on the small things and less on the big picture things. Forgive me for that.
Well, to be fair, this was your deal. I reckon that you know what's in it.
Oh yeah, like 'cause I believe. Oh, okay, because I think at least it was the lady to have priority on all your clothing and such. I think that was it, so that the lady would have that strength within you and more information to quiet the prince. Because I just want to get rid of them being a bother. Like any
I
information that can help them out, so I don't have to deal with the prince anymore. think that was a big goal, and I wanted to make sure I could help you first, because Prince I don't really care all that much about. You, on the other hand, you darling, I would say much more proper and more valued member.
Hmm. She goes to her computer, and in a few seconds, the printer fires up, and a page comes out. She hands you this mostly blank piece of printer paper with a photocopied driver's license on it. Tyler Carmen is the name on it, and it is a photocopy of his driver's license, a credit card. And she says, "This is some things left behind from a gentleman who seemed to not enjoy the company of our kind. Maybe he will be able to answer some questions for you."
Oh, thank you. And Tabitha hands this to Jet, since they are much better focused. And out of character, does that look like the person that Tabitha made the deal with in the car?
No,
Okay.
this is a normal. This is a normal kind.
Okay,
Just,
I just couldn't
the human.
remember. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And now, and remember, like, if you have anything in the future that I can be of assistance, feel free to call. Like, you are such a doll. Though, just to be fair, one of your bouncers, Charles, has had an interest with me. Like, is that fair game? I don't want to be put on to you as it's one of your employees.
Of course, he goes on break in an hour.
Oh, thank you. But it wouldn't be rude if I would partake.
Of course, consider it a cherry on top to our deal.
Oh, thank you kindly.
Uh, so yeah, is there anything else that y'all want to accomplish in this scene?
I can't think of anything else.
Jet?
Unless he's asked to remain, should there be a boon to complete?
No? Boone
Alright.
hasn't been called in yet.
He'll take his leave then.
Okay. You all hang around for an hour. Tabitha, you feed, and you can go ahead and slake one hunger. So you're back to one now. And
Okay.
yeah, we're going to move on to the other half of our party as you pull up to the St. Louis #1 cemetery and park
Um,
your car. Yeah.
just
Tab.
before, like, I'd like to flavor it is that Tabitha doesn't feed using her teeth, but
Mhm.
actually using a vial, a syringe,
Okay.
to actually partake of it. And it looked to Charles like, though, again, this would be what my personal kink here is, and I do enjoy you. Like, just like coming on is like, that's what makes them
Mhm.
very attractive and in the mood. Oh yes, and then just stores that to drink later so that they don't officially get a kiss, but Tabitha has
Okay.
the blood.
All right. Noted. So you have a blood bag on you then. So don't slake that hunger just yet. So since you haven't drunk it, you'll still have 2 hunger. Mikey, Maeve, and Lydia pull up to the St. Louis cemetery. Who's driving, or did you take a taxi?
I feel like Maeve has access to cars. It's just something
Yeah, you would have been set up with something.
relatively common, probably in black. You know how common chargers tend to be in the States these days.
Mhm.
So it's probably something like that. Yeah. Pull up to the gates of the cemetery. I kind of turn to Mikey. I'm like, how are you often here at night?
Not often, but I've been here a few times. I'm not overly familiar, but
Yeah, it's not really your like stomping ground though. Personal.
I mean, no, it's not really my turf. But I know some people here. I've met them a few times.
Okay. I feel like to make this maybe shorter in general, I'm just gonna send Nikolai see if she can see anything.
Okay.
Just to sort of triangulate so we're not wandering all over a cemetery in the middle of the night.
All right. Make a wits and awareness.
Wits and awareness. Let me dig around.
Awareness and wits, technically. Yeah.
Wits. Awareness. Roll. With. Wits. Go. Go.
All right. 3 successes.
Yeah.
It's mostly quiet, though you do see a figure leaned against a mausoleum that seems to be having a bit of a rough night. Leaned against one of the walls and seems to be relieving himself. Obviously a kind. You think that's all this is. And then you see a shifting in the bush nearby.
You see a shitling in a bush. What?
Shifting in a bush. Damn it, woman.
Okay. Well, it looks like someone's out for lunch. Let's go check it out. Lydia, will you wait with the car? Hey, Lydia.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'll make sure that we're able to get out of here.
Yeah, just keep the engine running.
So I presume the front entrance is all locked up. So do
Yes.
I know kind of a way in? I presume I would know some way to get
Yeah,
in.
why don't you make a wits and larceny check for me?
Ooh, okay. Larceny. That is 2 successes.
Nice. Oh, and yeah, that'll definitely do the job. Yeah, you know of a place that some of the Nos come in when they need a crypt crash, and you're able to get through fairly well.
Okay. I'd also like to activate Silence of Death.
All right. Does that require a rouse check?
It does not. It is free.
All right. So, Maeve, Mikey's footsteps no longer are causing any noise as he walks.
Okay, I figured I either followed Mikey or scaled the fence. Yeah.
You wouldn't require scaling. Mikey knows the right way in.
Yeah. I'm trying to be quiet, but I actually don't know about activating anything, so it's my weakness as a player. But I'm just gonna try and be vaguely quiet-ish as I walk through the cemetery to where my bird has spotted something.
All right. I need both of you to make dexterity and stealth rolls for me.
Dexterity and stealth. Dexterity. Stealth. Go.
2 successes. 2 successes. Excellent. Yeah, you both make your way through the cemetery, feeling fairly light on your feet, and make your way closer and closer to this individual that has now you can slightly see slumped against the wall of the mausoleum. When you see
Sorry, I was going to ask, is he asleep?
He looks as though he's mostly stationary. He's shifting slightly, but it's at that time that you see a shape dart from behind a nearby tombstone, and you hear a quick gasp of pain, and someone start to scream before they are muffled.
I mean, I'm not going to interrupt anyone's lunch, so mostly just going to wait for a moment.
Can I discern at all which direction, or I mean, was it directed at that man?
Oh, you can see it, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Do I recognize the hunter?
Go ahead and make a intelligence and awareness,
Okay.
or intelligence and occult, whichever is higher. Oh wow.
Oh.
No,
4.
you don't recognize this person.
Okay.
It looks like they're wearing clothes from out of town. The one thing that does stick out to you, notice they're wearing seems to be a interestingly made hat that is that silk? Seems to be a hat made of silk,
So
almost in the style of a top hat.
retroactive a bit.
Yep.
Scream in pain and like no change to typical kiss. Pleasure?
They seem to be fighting.
Ooh. I don't think we have a nos.
Yeah, I think
So-
Mikey's gonna indicate that maybe we should just kind of let this play out and wait and not interrupt and just watch.
So
Yeah.
you wait a minute. The struggle lessens. Another minute. And there's no movement. Another minute. And the kindred pulls his head away from the neck. Holds his head up towards the sky, and you can see the slight bit of crimson on a white shirt, and seems to be reveling in a filled belly.
Bit of a messy eater.
Mikey's gonna continue watching.
Can I maybe just sort of activate what is it? Do I have protean?
You do.
So just kind of the claws sharpen and I just sort of cough slightly.
Protean, you don't have that much protean, I don't believe.
No, what do I have? I have animal kin is what I have.
Animalism.
Yeah, animalism.
Yeah.
So I'm still regardless going to just cough slightly.
Okay. You cough, and the figure turns around and sees the two of you and tips their hat.
Baron.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, but that's not my job.
Nah, I wouldn't figure. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm full, and that's real nice.
Isn't it just?
Mikey's gonna say, "Hey, you're not from round here, are you?"
No, I'm just making my way through. Seems like a lovely city, though. I gotta say, I'm pretty partial to it.
So you're just passing through.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, sure.
Hmm. So
Now, I'm sorry. Who do I have the pleasure of conversing with on this evening?
I doff an imaginary cap and hi, I am Maeve. What is your name?
You can call me Tommy, Tommy Lazarus.
Oh, Lazarus Long.
And you, my looking companion?
Oh, I'm Mikey. It's nice to meet you, I suppose.
Oh, pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Now, what brings about y'all's curiosity tonight?
Oh, news article from about a week ago. Coyote ripping someone's throat out.
Oh, yeah, terribly sorry about that. I was a little sloppy that night. There was some unintended consequences. And as he says, you look at the now still form, and the throat is torn out.
Doesn't entirely look like you've done much better tonight.
Oh, sorry. That's where my manners. It's rude to talk in front of the deceased. Let me just take care of this real quick. You see him um, uh, walk over to the corpse, close its eyes, take a swig from a flask, spit in its face, mumble a few words, and before you the corpse ages 100 years in a minute and falls to dust.
And no coins for the eyes. How dare you?
Wouldn't have done them any good.
You're not the only one around here, are you?
You know, the family likes to travel together. No sense in being a family if you're going to go on your own. Besides, we got cousins out here.
Ah. Is Giovanni a
Oh,
shared name?
Giovanni. Oh, those bastards. No, they're related, and he slightly fixes his Jersey Devil pin on his shirt. Thank you for redeeming those plot points, Michael. And he goes cleans some of the blood off of it, and goes, no, well, no, it's those the uncles that you don't necessarily want to see more often than Christmas and New Year's, as it were. But you know, blood's blood, and we're still one of them. Just a little different, that's all.
Yeah, being from Jersey myself, I understand that particular predicament.
We've shared too much time with them in Jersey, and now seems like the appropriate time to make a little bit of a move. And this ain't a bad city, I gotta say.
Have you met very many of the locals?
I met a few. I try to keep a bit of a low profile, though, as does my kind.
Kind. Have you met mostly kind or mostly kindred?
Oh, you know, I like to keep a low profile. So I try to, not bother those that don't want to bother me. Speaking of bother me, what brought you two out here tonight? I'm answering a lot of questions.
You are.
Y'all ain't giving me too much. Who are you? I know
Well,
your names, but I don't know you.
We've been asked to just this news article we mentioned about the coyote. It's kind of troubling to our boss, you know?
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
believe your profile
can
has been kept
imagine.
low enough.
I mean, you want to keep a low profile, but you know, you're not doing such a good job of it.
Yeah, really.
well, that was. I'll admit that was an oversight on my part.
I don't know how many of your family are around, but you lose one of them recently?
You see his face kind of shift a little bit.
That's what I
No, I
thought.
don't see how that's any of your business, stranger.
Maybe not, but I think I might have known what happened to him. Again, your profile hasn't been low enough.
Oh yeah. What have you heard?
Oh, I haven't heard much, but I've seen a little more than I've wanted to.
And go on.
Well, your friend was a guest of our boss, you see.
And who did he have the pleasure of dining with?
Well, the prince, of course.
My, ain't that quite a predicament? I'm guessing your use of the term was implies that things did not go so well for my family.
If you
Like you
decided
should, awkwardly.
fine feathered friend, I would say now tarred and feathered friend. Yeah, you've got the prince's notice. I don't know if this is the best city for you. It is fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not from around here, but choice area it is. Only occasionally gets destroyed by a hurricane. Might not be your new favorite. Might not want to be your new favorite.
Now, are you making an implication? Are you trying to threaten me as I go about my daily duties, just living my life?
Daily duties. This is at least the second body in 2 weeks.
He gestures to
That's
the
great.
ash and
Go.
gestures to the ash and goes, "I don't see a body."
Someone's gonna miss that, regardless of whether it's Ash now. You're
We're
causing
just,
a disturbance.
We're just
And
warning you.
to us, it has been suggested that these new folks might not be so welcome. And making that suggestion to you now seems to be a courtesy.
Now I have to ask, what do you plan on doing after our little conversation tonight?
Well, if you were to go back to your family and continue onward in rather a quicker manner than the grand scheme of things, I think our problems would mutually be solved.
Mm-hmm.
If you want,
And say that was not something that I wanted to do.
if you want a bloody war on your hands, then by all means, continue on.
Well, laissez le bon temps brûler. I guess tonight's gonna get real interesting for some of us, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I tackled the fucking shit out of him.
All right, make a strength and brawl check. Zan gets to roll all the dice.
I bet.
Oh, just a look of Mikey's face of, oh, fuck, here we go again.
Yep.
It always starts with a tackle.
Shit. Roll 20 commands.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's going to he's gonna duck out of your way and trip you up with his cane.
I roll
huge.
bomb over tea kettle.
Yeah. He says, now hold on a second. I didn't say that I was coming for your blood. Why do you do me this disservice, this inhospitality? I thought the South was supposed to be a hospitable place. Or have I forgotten how things work here?
I'm just like laying on my back on the grass, like, did you or did you not hear that I am from New Jersey?
Oh, that's what I should expect from a carpetbagger. Thank you for the,
A little
for the
too far
reminder,
north that
Raymond.
Manson-Nixon line.
He turns to you, Mike, and goes, do you plan on being as rude as your friend?
I'm not really the fighting kind. We just came here to deliver a message. We're not really the fighting kind. Well, at least I'm not, and a lot of our party aren't either. But we just want to convey the message that we might not be the troops, but the Camarilla have plenty.
Oh yeah, Scourge seems a little bit scary. I say from the ground.
Hey,
I would
thank you so much
help
for that
her
tip,
up.
Michael.
I'm gonna help Maeve up.
No, I'm just gonna lay on the ground. I'm just staring up.
Oh, okay. You're happy that?
His cane pointed at my face. I'm just like,
Okay.
What can you do? Sometimes you just gotta tackle a fucker.
You do notice the cane that he is holding has an ornate serpent's head on the tip.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably has a blade inside of it too.
Yeah, thank you so much for that switch, Michael. I'm sure it'll get put to some absolutely devastating use that will ruin my plans yet again.
Spoiled again.
Yeah. He's gonna say, well, I would say it's been a pleasure, but I'm not a man who likes to lie. And he's gonna pull out a cigar, light it. I need both of you to make frenzy checks for me.
Ooh. Frenzy. Yeah. Come on, mouse, move. It didn't work. Oh, hello.
Excellent. Mikey, you're good.
Why are you so slow? Okay.
Maeve, you're good. As he pulls out his lighter and lights a cigar, the lighter produces a much larger flame than anticipated. And each of you kind of like twitch away as the beast inside you recoils in primal fear. And he puffs on the cigar for just a moment. Says, well, if you're both done here, I have a lovely night to enjoy. Alone.
Okay, glutton. I'm sure we'll see you again.
It's a shame you didn't want to take our warning.
He's not going to take our warning.
I'll keep it in mind. Mikey, Maeve, I'll keep it in mind.
See you, Lazarus. We'll see
That's
how long
why they
you
call me
actually
Lazarus.
Live.
You always see me a second time. And yeah. Both what do you both do?
How's he? So he's just leaving on foot, is he? Which direction?
He's not leaving. He's
oh, yes.
he's just staring
Just
at you,
standing there.
puffing
I'm just
on
gonna
the cigar.
continue putting on the grass.
I guess if he's just gonna watch us, then I would lead Maeve to the last place where I saw my contacts within the cemetery. And
Okay.
when I hear some movement behind me, I will look back and see what
There's
he's
no-
doing.
There's nothing there.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh dear. That plan failed. Okay.
That was fun. Are there any
Yeah.
extra Nosferatu around here, or do you think you fucking ate them?
No, there should be some of my people here, but I think it was a shame we had to let him get away. I was hoping I could follow him.
Yeah, I mean, at least we have some information, sort of.
Yeah,
I told you
but
that was a lead, though. It was definitely a lead.
it was the lead.
For now.
But the prince wants him gone, and he doesn't want to go. So I don't know what the next play is.
I don't know how exactly he plans to usurp an entire established principality. But he seems interesting.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
So, do you make your way to your Nosferatu contacts?
Yeah, I think maybe they might have some more information about Lazarus.
Yeah,
So,
there's some slums not too far away. You know, in some of the boarded up houses, they're known dens of Nosferatu.
Mhm.
Not many, but a few.
Kind of
Wake your-
whistled softly and hope. Well, I don't hope. Nikolai comes out of the sky on my shoulder.
Okay. Yeah. Nikolai does so. And you make your way to Mikey's contacts. Mikey, who are you going to see?
Would I have a name of an individual? I'd be going to see the person who I don't know, if I've done someone a favour before and they owe me something, or someone I'm on good terms with would be who I'm
Sure.
looking for.
Who is that?
Let's say that there is a very jittery shy Nosferatu called Shin.
Okay. You make your way into the to the boarded up house. You find Shin sitting down, playing an old copy of GoldenEye on the 64 in the dark room. And they jump as you enter and go, oh shit! Mikey, hey, long time no see, Mikey. What's up?
Hey, buddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you.
You know, some people knock. That's cool though, but I'm fine. I guess you don't have to knock. That's cool. You can just come into my house. That's fine.
I'm sorry. You finish the level, or are you?
No. Faculty's a little tough. Trying to.
Oh,
Maeve is just giggling.
okay. Well, listen. Sorry to drop by, obviously, but we just wondered if you knew anything about some stuff that's been going on around here, and this guy with the funny hat that's been hanging around. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he seems like kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you make a presence or let's go ahead and say, what is this going to be? This is going to be a charisma and
Persuasion?
yeah, I think persuasion. Yeah, I was trying to decide between persuasion or streetwise, but I think persuasion's right.
Who's making that?
That's gonna be. Ooh.
Oh dear. I think I'm going to do some re-rolling.
Okay, well, you do have. There are dice to be used. You can use your willpower to re-roll 3 dice, or there's 6 dice to be used in the dice pool, or 2 automatic successes. So you can negate that bestial success if you want to use one of the successes, or use some of the extra dice that we have lying around.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take. So did you say we had I'll take a success. That's okay.
Sure, that's what
Yeah.
they're there for. So,
Okay.
Raven, can you mark us down to 1 success for the players, please? And yeah, that turns into 2 successes. And yeah, I've seen some new folks around. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and the kind of folks who are just killing kind.
Oh, they're oh no, they do this freaky shit. They've taken out a couple of people that I've seen, but they dust them when they're done. It's real strange. I've never seen that shit before.
Nah, it's real weird, but I guess I've not been around that long. So, do you know where these people hang out?
I don't know. I think they're mostly down in the French Quarter. They come here at night to feed sometimes, but I think they live it up pretty big in the quarter when they're out. Heard talk of them, you know, they're a little social.
All right. Where do you hear the talk from? Anyone we can go speak to?
No, I hear talk. Make a manipulation and intimidation check for me.
Oh dear. It's not like his strong suit. Manipulation.
Yeah.
It's actually not too bad.
Or manipulation and etiquette, whichever one is better for you.
Okay, I'll take that.
Very nice. It's, you know, it's there's a shisha bar down in the French Quarter. They like.
Oh yeah. Know what it's called?
Yeah, it's called the it's called the badass.
The badass.
The badass. Yeah.
Well, the badass.
Whoa, Michael Wayne! Holy shnikey! Thank you so much for that, my dude. That puts us over the goal for this stream. Yeah, thanks so much, man. Wowzers. Thanks so much. Ooh, yeah, that threw me off. Actually, Michael, do you have a better name for this hookah bar?
Okay, because for me, I'm thinking the Big and Hungry.
I think we can work with that. The Big and Hungry. Yeah, we'll work with that. Formerly known as the Badass, but under recent management change, the Big Hungry.
Well, that sounds like the kind of place he'd like for sure.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much for that cheer, Jay. It's super appreciated. Man, wow, awesome. This is stream's popping. Man, yeah, Michael, thank you so much. It's an early birthday present to Raven there, apparently. And I'm sure Raven will tell us more about the festivities she has planned for her birthday at the end of our stream today, hopefully. Raven. And yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, sorry, that has totally thrown me off my game. Yeah.
God damn it, Michael.
Yep. Yeah. And oh yeah, that's right. We made our goal, so that's a bonus to each of the cat to to Zan. A bonus reroll to Zan. Yay. Yeah. Train derailed, Jay. Train derailed. Thought train. Everything.
Hey, Jin.
Yeah. Sorry. I really want to get this faculty done in under 205, but it's pretty rough.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, don't need to be rude.
It's rude.
Just faculty in 205, man. Faculty in 205. Have these people been bothering any of y'all?
Some minor conflicts last week. They decided that the cemetery was their feeding ground. You know, it's we've made ingresses again since and haven't seen any of them. But they roughed up Joey Donuts pretty good, and told him that while they were there, it's their time to feed.
Okay, so where's Joey? Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's just not here.
Okay, so this was y'all's place. This was your place to feed.
Yeah, I mean we still feed there. It's just we keep a lookout for them.
That can't be heartening for y'all.
No, it's not really. No.
I mean, are you looking into doing something about it? And you gotta defend your turf.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we're not in the Camarilla's best grace.
No, but the prince has asked us to take care of these fuckers because the prince isn't exactly happy they're here.
Oh, the prince is interested. I didn't know the prince was interested in these guys.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
A word for it.
Oh,
How many have you seen?
Oh, like I guess 4.
4. Any idea on their numbers?
I mean, I've seen 4 of them. Only one of them wears the hat though. Stupid fucking hat.
Stupid fucking hat. He seems to be a leader.
From what I can gather, yeah.
Okay. So, Big and Hungry, formerly known as Badass.
Yeah, we got a lead. Thank you, Shin. You've been real helpful.
Yeah, it's no problem. Hey, can you find somebody to pick me up a new game? I'm really craving some. I think the game's called Ogre Battle 64. I'm getting real tired of the controls on the shooter have not aged well. So can you maybe kindness for kindness?
Hey, no worries, man. I got you. Ogre Battles 64, yeah?
Ogre Battle 64, yeah.
All right. I'll take it up.
Play like
person of lordly caliber, yeah. Yep.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night. Yeah. And he'll let you go on your way. Is there anything else? I assume that y'all go back to the car with Lydia waiting and inform her of the rest of the events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mikey would ask Lydia if she saw anything.
And if that's not Lydia's voice, no, I haven't. It's been pretty quiet.
That's good.
All right. Well, we have a lead, so that's something.
Oh, that's good.
I also ran into one of those other fuckers that leaves the shark bites, so.
Oh, did you kill him?
No. I think I tried to tackle him, but then he tripped me and I stayed on the ground because I feel like he was a lot stronger than me and I didn't really want to die tonight. So
makes sense. We'll kick his ass next time.
We were trying to be diplomatic about it, but I don't think he wants to listen to our warnings.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
What can you expect from people in stupid hats? I think that's meta. I don't think y'all mentioned the stupid hat. Yeah.
You just tell by the personality description.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be wearing a stupid hat. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is there anything else y'all would like to accomplish tonight?
Nope.
Okay. So I think we're going to close tonight's game with one final scene, and you're going to see a car pull up to a church.
To the same church I ripped someone's tongue out at?
No, this is a church that you haven't been to before. Take a few steps away from the car. You see boots crunching on gravel. A red aluminum cap fall to the ground. You hear the sound of a lighter clicking and light from above. And the sound of glass smashing as a Molotov cocktail is thrown inside. And then there's fire. And that's where we're going to close our game tonight. Yeah. Is there something else that people want to cover before we end?
I just wanted to, because I have one scene in mind. Like, after like Tabitha and Jet exit, just for comedic, is like pulls out these what looks like 2 blood orange Capri Suns, and injects the blood into both of them, and it mixes with turpentine, which I may be mispronouncing, which will allow for the double of the potency, so both of them will get at least 1 full blood bag's worth in a Capri Sun, and Tab hands one of the blood orange Capri Suns to Jet.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm not sure what power are you talking about?
No, the blood orange, like roughly like it's Timbertrine is a medicine thing which allows for blood itself to double its potency. So have one like a vial of blood gets turned into 2, so both Jet and Tabitha have essentially 1 blood bag in each of one of these blood orange Capri Suns. So that way, like, we just end with them kind of like drinking the blood out of Capri Sun.
How does that sound, Jet?
Very hesitant, but all right.
Yeah,
Sure.
like it's just a packaging.
Very off-putting.
Okay. Yeah.
This Tab isn't that old and clearly has like some nieces and nephews somewhere and just carries fucking Capri Suns around.
On Jet's end, it's more that he doesn't know where it's from.
Yeah, like it's from the person that
the bouncer?
Yeah.
It comes from Kroger.
Yeah,
Well, like,
all right. All right. Fair enough.
Okay. And yeah, with the 2 of you sipping your Capri Suns, Capri Moons, I guess, as the case would be tonight.
Shut the fuck up.
You see in the background, as the camera pans up, a trail of smoke wafting into the night sky. And that's where we'll call it. So, yeah, right?
Sorry, get that out.
So,
Oh, thank you. Music was getting on my nerves.
So, for a little bit of happy fun time, we'll change the music up and make it happy and perky again. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, everybody. We really appreciate you listening to our dark and grim story of vampires and desecration of corpses and things tonight. It was a fantastic time.
Is that what
Always
this
a
game
privilege.
is called now? Vampires and Desecration of Corpses.
Basically. So we're gonna go back through with the cast, and we've got a fantastic question from Alien J. Oh no, we've lost Tommy.
Sand.
Yeah, no, my brain. No, Jay made a great comment. And in chat, okay, what do we have in the fridge? Fang, purple stuff. Oh heck yeah, Sunny D. Yeah, it's great comment. So we're gonna start with Tani. Who are you? What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And where what celestial body would you most like to see?
Me?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with you this time. I started with Mikey last time.
Okay. I am Tawny. My Twitter is Manic Horse. I guess the full username is Manic Pixie Horse Girl, courtesy of our friend Tom. And you can find me there. I played Maeve. I like to tackle people. What was the other part?
What was your what celestial
Favorite
body?
part. Favorite part. Oh, my favorite part was when I was like, and I fucking tackle him, and just seeing Michael and Slowpoke and Natatui's faces, just they were very entertaining at that moment. I was really glad that I was on Zoom and not on the delayed live stream here. It was absolutely beautiful, and I'm gonna go watch it later. I might send the clip to Michael so I can get a gif of it because it was glorious.
There will be gifts.
There will be gifts.
Excellent. And celestial body.
Celestial body. I want to see Saturn's rings.
Otherwise known as the foreskin of Christ.
Yeah, just how no one knows exactly how they came about. I think it would be cool to dick around on Saturn's foreskin.
Awesome. Jet, who are you? Where can we find you next? What was your favorite part? And what celestial body would you most like to see?
All right, so I'm Slowpoke. You'll find me here most of the time. I'm somewhat of a ghost outside of it. As for my favorite part, I very much enjoyed the part that Jet had with his sire. I didn't know if that came to properly, but Leroy, the person who picked me up in the car in the beginning of the session, was my sire. And it seems like she's very much a grounding thing for him. I'm figuring him out a bit as I go, but for now, she is very much a grounding person for him. So that was tons of fun. So as far as celestial body, I actually had to look this up because my memory is shit. The pillars of creation, the part of the Eagle Nebula, to look upon that close enough to that I could see it from the naked eye. We've only seen it through the Hubble telescope. That would be really cool.
Hell yeah. Michael, give us the spiel.
Well, you give me a clip and then I'll give you a GIF. That's the one bit. I'm Michael Wayne. I did enjoy a whole lot. Like, I did love, both with Mikey and Nat, Mauve. That was
Maeve.
the other one. Maeve. Both of that just kind of hey, I'm going to attack you. I fail. Well, shrug goes Mikey. Just love that. That was so good. And most of the whole thing with Jet and their sire was just really good stuff. I really did love it. For a celestial body, it'd actually probably be Jupiter, because I'm curious about that red spot. I know there's storms there, but what else is in that red spot? Most part, you can see me about. I'm always looking for a game. Maybe one day I'll play with you. I think you'll see me Monday, maybe, for Fleshmaker's Folly game. Maybe. We'll find out. Otherwise, just remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Excellent. Thanks so much, dude. And Nat. Favorite part, where can we find you? Yada, 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 yada.
Yes, I am Nat, Natatui, found me on the Black River Discord, bit of a ghost apart from that. Favourite part, I quite liked, I like Shin, just a pretty cool character, just a kind of a similar soul for Mikey to have a friend in, I quite like that. Celestial body, probably just to see the Earth from space, while in space, would be pretty profound. That's probably my pick.
Hell yeah. And yeah, cool. Next time we can catch you is here.
Yeah, here.
Okay, cool. And I am Zan. Y'all can catch me at insanitygaming.com or twitter.com/insanityttrpg. My favorite part today was me trying to create a dramatic ending scene and then getting Capri Sunned or the numerous times that I had poo brain on camera. Man, that poo brain is a real struggle today. Again, thank you so much, Michael Wayne, for that tip. That is worth the poo brain. Worth every second of that poo brain there.
Yeah, you're just too cute whenever you have that like poo face. Like it's just like it's just so cute. It's tough to resist.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's the boyish charm. Yeah, getting Capri Sunned. That's it. Just got Capri Sunned. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part, even though it kind of made me look like a goob. Yeah, and the next place you can catch me will be later today with the water game. Or you can catch me this weekend, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, where I will be running my They Came From Beneath the Sea one-shot, Crawdaddy Knows Best, with the Onyx Path publishing online convention, which is super cool and super exciting and only mildly terrifying. Yeah. Thanks so much for hanging in there, everybody. We really appreciate y'all watching the stream today, and you all have a great one. I'm gonna pass it over to, oh shit, solar system. I really want to see. I think Neptune has Neon Rain, or hey, maybe I just want to see Uranus. All right, we're gonna pass it over to Raven on that terrible joke.
There we go. I got a kick out of it. So yeah, thanks everybody for that awesome stream. Thank you to the cast, to Zan for running it. Thank you very much, Michael, for just single-handedly crushing the entire stream goal for today's vampire stream. That also gave me a poo brain, I guess is what we're calling it. But no, that was really great. My favorite celestial body is probably, I think black holes are actually kind of cool. And also Pluto, because it doesn't get enough love. We're going to go on a raid here in just a moment, though. We're going to go raid Madame Gandalf, who we haven't raided in a while, so we're going to go say hello. She's a fantastic, phenomenal variety streamer. Give her a follow if you're not doing so already. And then as for where you can find all of us next, or me, the channel, we're going to be back in about just over 3 hours for Water, which is our Alien Water Planet survival game. It runs on Fundamental RPG First Edition, and it is influenced by games like Subnautica and The Forest and Minecraft and things like that. It's all about trying to survive on a hostile alien water planet. And we've already had a player character death. So Patrick's going to be back with a brand new character this week, which will be fun. And we'll see who else dies or doesn't die. It's going to be fun. But yeah, we're going to go on a raid. So I will see you all in a few hours.